Hello everyone. This is a little bit of a weird one because, for those who don't know, I've been out of a computer for the last few days, and I finally got my computer back earlier today at the time of recording this. And so, I did play my week 8 match against Robbie, who is the coach of Jubilee Jirachi. Though, because I was out of a computer at the time, I played it without recording, so we're going to be doing post-commentary for this one. For the team, we decided to bring Choice Scarf Kyogre with Water Spout, Origin Pulse, Ice Beam, Thunder, and Terra Ghost on it because they have a Salandit, which we could try to avoid Fake Out with. A Florges with Terra Fire, Moonblast, Terra Blast, Protect, Calm Mind. Skip Bloom with Eviolite, Tailwind, Sleep Powder, Rage Powder, Giga Drain. Hisuian Arcanine with Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, Will-O-Wisp, and Snarl. Basculegion with Wave Crash, Last Respects, Ice Fang, Aqua Jet. And lastly, Hisuian Electrode with Thunderbolt, Chloroblast, Terra Blast, Volt Switch. Now, we have a few interesting Terras here. We have a Terra Grass on the Arcanine for the potential Azumarill that they could have bring, and Robbie almost always is definitely bringing a Azumarill. So we need Terra Grass on Arcanine to avoid that. And also pairs that well with Florges Flower Veil. Terra Fairy on Basculegion is just to be immune to the stab of Zygarde, as Robbie has Zygarde on his team. And Electrode Hisui was also Terra Ice for the same reason. We'll have quad effective against Zygarde, so if we ever see Zygarde on the field, we could OHKO it. Anyways, let's get into game 1. Let me turn down this music. That's probably better. So, we see here, we led Kyogre, Basculegion, and Robbie led with Salandit and Arboliva. A few things to note is they have Salandit, Hisuian Zoroark, Espafra, Zygarde, Arboliva, and Azumarill. Now, a few things to note when looking at this team setup. Espafra wasn't led, so I wasn't really expecting it to show up game 1. Hisuian Zoroark is always probably an issue due to it being able to disguise as a Pokemon. Now, Robbie almost always runs Focus Sash on it, so it's pretty easy to know what type of item to expect. And I switch out Basculegion here, expecting the Hisuian Arcanine, not the Hisuian, the Hisuian Zoroark. And I go for Water Spout on Kyogre after Terra Ghosting to avoid the Fake Out damage. I'm going to lower this even more, actually. So we get past the Fake Out and are able to get the KO on Salandit. And that was actually Zoroark, not Arboliva. Now, this was actually a mistake on my part, as I was fearing that was Zoroark. Which is why I switched out Basculegion. But I could have gone for a really aggressive play here and Aqua Jet into Zoroark to break its sash, which would have allowed Water Spout to pick up a double KO here. And now Azumarill comes out, and I don't really have any way of going into it against it with Arcanine, so I swap out. The thing is, Kyogre is now dead in the water here, so I kind of have to just let it die. Moonblast unfortunately doesn't kill Azumarill here. So Basculegion comes back out, Arboliva switches in. I Aqua Jet into Arboliva expecting a Protect from Zoroark. but Zoroark goes for Grass Knot into Tabasco Legion. So I was a little, I was greedy there. I was expecting Zoroark to protect, and which would allow me to get a Calm Mind on Florges, but unfortunately that's not what happened. Arcanine picks up the KO here, but Arboliva hangs on and kills Arcanine. And while Florges is really good on the special bulk, its physical bulk isn't so great. And while I could theoretically have won here, I will unfortunately lose this to a play rough from Azumarill. Right there. Now, yeah, so a very unfortunate game one for me there. If I just played around the Zoroark a bit better, I probably could have won that one quite easily. I also was in the bad headspace of predicting Protects there, where I was expecting Robbie to go for a Protect, so I was going to do something really greedy, and then he didn't Protect, which led me to get punished. Moving on to game 2. Oh, let me switch the sides. Leading off in game 2, he leads off with Spoffor and Azumarill, where I lead off with Arcanine and Florges. So I go for the Terra Grass on the Arcanine, because of course I'm facing down potentially Azumarill, but it turns out to actually be Hisuian Zoroark. So this Will-O-Wisp ends up doing nothing for me. Well, it does break Zoroark's Sash. However, it means that I am not killing Azumarill's damage. Now that right there was actually really important. It comes back to the Terra Grass, that because I Terra Grassed, Hyper Voice did 30% to Arcanine at just base special defense. Then Zoroark Terra Normal to get even more damage on Hyper Voice. So with Lumina Crash, its signature effect is that it will harshly lower your special defense. So if it wasn't for the fact I was Terra Grass there, Arcanine would have died to this Hyper Voice. But instead it lives at 29% and gets a Snarloff to lower off their special attacks, which then allows me to chip down Zoroark enough for Florges to get the KO. Though I'm pretty sure Florges would have gotten the KO anyway, but it's also just very important to get a spot for special attack lower. Arboliva comes in for real this time, not a fake from last game, and Azumarill comes in. Kyogre takes a little bit of damage there. I tried to get a Thunder off on Azumarill, but Spoffor actually had Sunny Day, which is a bit of a small issue for us. So I switched Kyogre out here to get the Intimidate on Azumarill. But Azumarill switches out, which leads to that not doing anything for me. Florges absolutely eats that Lumina Crash, though it's now at half special defense. Now, once again, another Protect read gone wrong. And a Spoffra, I think, switches out here. Yeah, into Arboliva, as I Extreme Speed into it. And Moonblast Azumarill, doing a little over half. And a crit play rough taking down Azumarill, but I'm pretty sure... Not Azumarill, taking down Arcanine, but I'm pretty sure Arcanine went down to that anyway, so the crit doesn't matter. I bring in Electrode now. And it's pretty much game over from here. Arboliva survives on 2 HP. Florges loses most of their health because of that special defense drop, which allows it to die to an Aqua Jet. And Electrode actually lives on 1 HP from a Pollen Puff, which was big. But now it's a 2-on-2 with me still having the Water Spout available. And even at +1, Spoffra won't outspeed. So we're able to just pick up the KO with a Choice Scarf Water Spout. And that's game 2 for us. I think I played around that pretty well. I think the only thing I could probably criticize was, once again, reading the protects wrong like I did in Game 1. This whole set as a whole, I was actually really bad on reading protects. I gotta... I like fighting Robbie because of that, because I'm always, I'm in my own head when facing someone like Robbie, whether or not, Robbie will go defensive or not, because Robbie likes to run protect on all of his mon. I think... So yeah, so Spafra had it, Azumarill had it, Arboliva had it. I don't know if Salandit had it, but it probably would have had it. I don't think Zoroark definitely didn't have it, because it was supposed to just be a lead dot. Actually, no, did it have it? I think Zoroark does have it. Yeah, no, yeah. Zoroark has it, the Spafra has it, Azumarill has it, Arboliva has it. So, Robbie just uses Protect on a lot of his mons, whereas I tend to go a bit more offensive with my sets, having only like half the team have Protect, whereas with Robbie it seems like pretty much majority of his team has Protect, which leads to a lot of situations where I'm kind of forced to try and reposition because of a bad read. Now, in Game 3 I got Fervor from Game 2, where Florges was constantly getting outsped, and that's fine. Florges is a very slow Pokemon. So for Game 3, I actually bring Skiploom, as he leads Azumarill and Salandit. So Salandit's back. We know that's the real one, Salandit, because it, of course, procced Oblivious. We switch Arcanine out to Florges, and this is Zoroark, because we know Zoroark has Icy Wind. Now, it misses Skiploom, which was lucky for us, and we get the Tailwind off. So we know that's not actually a Azumarill. But at the time, I was fearing a Poison-type move from Salandit. Even though it wouldn't have done a lot of damage, I didn't want Florges potentially poisoned. Though I'm pretty sure Salandit's set is just full supportive. I don't think it actually has a decent Poison-type move on it. We land the Sleep Powder with Skiploom, and Arboliva switches in. And yes, so we reveal that this Azumarill was actually Zoroark, which we knew from the Icy Wind. Now, I had expected it to switch out there, and I expected Robbie to switch the Zoroark out and instead of the Salandit. Though it kind of makes sense why he wouldn't. And even if I did predict it being Salandit instead, it wouldn't have affected Arboliva because it's a grass type. So we switch Kyogre out again into Florges, kills Zoroark with Energy Ball, Giga Drain, and we eat the Energy Ball relatively well. However, because of the special defense drop, we won't actually live the next one, even though we're above 48. So we switch Florges. Do I switch Florges? Oh no, I protect Florges here to set up my next Tailwind and let Skiploom go down. Now, I feel like here Robbie made the mistake of going into Terra Grass on the Azumarill, because that just let me have an easy way of getting hits on it. Because I've revealed all 4 mods already. The only Pokemon that I have that's weak to grass is Kyogre, and I still have Arcanine, and I haven't Terra'd yet. So I do feel like this Terra Grass on Azumarill was a bad call here. It wasn't needed because I didn't have anything on my field at the time that could hit Azumarill for super effective damage. Maybe he was expecting Florges to... does Florges get Thunderbolt? Hold on. I don't really look at Florges' moves all too often because I don't... No, it doesn't get Thunderbolt. So I don't know why Robbie Terra'd there. Because now it's just weak to Arcanine. Like, he knows I'm not running Electrode right now. And are able to intimidate Azumarill. And it eats that Flare Blitz. Like, Azumarill is bulky. Arboliva takes a lot of damage, and we actually get hit from a play rough. And Robbie predicts my Terra and Pollen Puffs Arcanine, though it does not enough damage, and we eat back a Citrus Berry. And because of the grassy terrain that Arboliva set up, Arcanine will now no longer die to another Pollen Puff. So, now Robbie's in a situation where he has to protect both Pokemon to try and stall out Tailwind. Unfortunately, I still have one more turn after this of Tailwind, which means he still can't outspeed Arcanine in this situation. So he swaps out Arboliva. I guess expecting me to do the same setup again where I Flare Blitz into Azumarill. However, because the fact that Grassy Terrain is up, I know I won't kill Azumarill with another Flare Blitz. It'll live on like a few HP. So instead, I Ice Beam it with Kyogre instead and go for Flare Blitz into Arboliva, which of course swapped out. Now at this point, the game's pretty much over. I still have Extreme Speed on Arcanine, which does a lot of damage into Salandit. And of course, like I mentioned, the Grassy Terrain meant that Arcanine will live a Pollen Puff. And like I said, from there it's GG. Arcanine kills Salandit. And then Kyogre kills Arboliva. This was an incredibly fun set. And I apologize that I couldn't do this video live. As I mentioned, I had no computer. But I thank you all for watching if you did watch, and I will see you all next time. Peace.